Now back to the #1 truth fighter in Boston, the Warren Ballentine Show, only on NewsTalk, 1090 AM, WILD Boston, where information is power.
All for justice. 877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Join the Truth Fighters in full effect right now. Right now. Right now. Right now.
All right, Truth Fighters. You know, we do a segment called How Smart Are We every Friday, but before I play this segment, I would like to offer a little bit of advice to the president. This president has a lot of economic issues going on right now, to say the least. We can't just continue to print money in this country. I mean, that's real talk. Anybody who understands economics understands that we're going to have a great a great period of inflation after all this printing of money. But I would tell him he needs to go back and study Ronald Reagan. Reagan came in and had almost the exact same issues with the economy that President Obama's had. If you go back and look at the history, he needs to look at what Reagan did to reshape the economy at that time. Because he did have the same, now y'all know how I feel about Reagan. But economically, he was facing almost the same thing. You had high inflation, high unemployment, no jobs. It was very similar in the atmosphere of what was going on. And I would tell him to just take a look at it. Now, I'm not saying do exactly what Reagan did, but just take a look at it. Because it's almost the exact same thing that's going on right now. Yasha, let's see how smart we are.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
I have no idea.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
No idea.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
I don't know.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
Atlanta? I have no clue.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
I gotta think about it. I can't think of his name.
Andrew Young?
That might be his name.
No.
That's not it? Well, I don't have my Black History hat on right now.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
I can't tell you.
Who was the first African-American mayor of Atlanta?
I do not know. I do not know.
I know folks in Atlanta going crazy, like, how the hell they don't know Maynard Jackson? I know y'all going crazy in Atlanta about that, right? I don't know sometimes, our people. Let's get Bertha in here from Liberty, Ohio, 1500 AM, line 5. What's up, Bertha? Hey, Bertha. Bertha. All right, Bertha been holding. I was going to try to help her out with a call. Let's go to Doris in Milwaukee, 1240 AM. Line 8. What's up, Doris?
Good morning to all, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. I wanted to talk briefly on, comment briefly on the 3 questions you raised at the beginning of the program.
Go right ahead.
Okay, first, and then I'd like to ask you a question. You mentioned, could women and men be friends? I think so. Secondly, regarding Shirley Sherrod, I really think that she is a distraction from what the NAACP brought out against the Tea Party, because it happened, if you remember, smack dab after the NAACP brought out their calling out of the bigots in the Tea Party. And regarding who in the White House called her and said that it came from the White House. We never did know who the deputy was in the Department of Agriculture. And was it she who is the Department of Agriculture in the White House? And thirdly, you mentioned about mongrels, which is, and I looked it up in the dictionary, it's an animal or a plant of mixed breed. Any incongruous mixture, a crossbreed. And the president himself is a crossbreed, as I believe, or I think that most people here in America are mongrels. And the question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think about a suggestion that listing the positive effects of, to educate the Americans of the changes that President Obama has brought to the fore? I don't think we know how it impacts upon us as Americans. And I think that because many Americans are distracted by all the distractions coming from the cultists, the Klansers, the conservative Republicans are making us...
Well, I'm going to say this because I'm out of time for the segment. I thank you for the call. I love you guys in Milwaukee. I do agree with you. I think the right wing and the media is not highlighting what the president has done. The mongrel statement, like I said before, I do understand what he was saying. He's trying to say that we're all mixed with something. But I do understand why people took offense to it, too. And I can't act like people didn't take offense to it, because some people did. So you got to respect the fact that they took offense to it. Lastly, I do believe that in the next 2 years, that we will get past a lot of the issues that we're having right now. And I don't believe Shirley Sherrod was a distraction, because honestly, she's a federal appointed employee. Vilsack couldn't fire her unless the administration told him it was okay. Now, does that mean the president knew exactly? Not necessarily. But at the NUL, he did say that his administration dropped the ball. Talking to you, Truth Fighters, right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
Stay tuned for the Warren Ballentine Show. Call 1-877-373-9766. 1-877-373-9766. Call the #1 Truth Fighter and stay with News Talk 1090 AM WILD Boston. TV1's Washington Watch with your host, Roland Martin, touching the real issues from an African-American perspective. Guests that you will not see on any other Sunday morning talk shows. Dealing with the problems and coming with solutions for Black America. TV1 presents Inside Washington Watch with host and chief moderator, Roland Martin. Sundays at 11 and at 5 p.m. Eastern. Only on TV1. Comcast channels 75 and 214.
This is Travis Best. I want to thank you, Boston, personally, for being loyal listeners like yourselves that are still waking up to the Tom Joyner Morning Show. 1090 WILD AM. That's the people station, baby.
It's the Tom Joyner Morning Show.
Weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. Only on Classic Soul and R&B, 1090 a.m. WILD.
This is a radio reality fact.
Do you remember where you were on September 11th, 2001? I was in my car driving to work. I was listening to my favorite morning show, and that's when we heard about the airplane flying into the World Trade Center. They stopped playing music to keep us informed, minute by minute, of what was happening. Now imagine not having your favorite radio station available, not only to entertain you as you ride to work each day, but to keep you informed during a crisis. HR 848 is threatening to destroy free radio. Log on to SaveYourRadio.org to find out how you can stop this from happening.
Call your local representative and tell them to vote no for House Resolution 848. This has been another Reality Radio Fact with Kathy Hughes.
Boston, express yourself. Weekday mornings with the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Tom Joyner Morning Show at 1-800-JOYNER-1. That's 1-800-JOYNER-1. And at 10 a.m., free your mind with Warren Ballentine on the Warren Ballentine Show. Call 1-877-373-9766. 1-877-373-9766. And then at 1 p.m., Exhale on Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Keeping It Real. Call 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. 1090 WILD got you covered. And nowhere else. The big three of real black talk. Tom Joyner. Warren Ballentine. The People's Attorney. The Reverend Al Sharpton. Keeping It Real.
Whether AM or FM concerning the real issues.
The weekday shows of ILD still beats Touch FM in the morning. Bar none. TJMS at 6. Warren at 10. Sharpton at 1. Only on one station. News Talk 1090 AM. WILD.
That's the People's Station.
Where music and information is power.
Don't touch that dial.
The African American communities of Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan are still tuned in
to the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Keeping it real with Reverend Sharpton.
WILD.
Al Sharpton. He lets his audience know what's going on politically. Keeps you thinking.
I like Al Sharpton. He's always trying to stand up for the people. In Boston and across the board.
Boston's home for classic soul, R&B, and news talk.
Only on one radio station.
The Reverend Al Sharpton.
Keeping it real.
Weekday afternoons, 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Only on NewsTalk 1090 AM. WILD. Boston, where information is power. Looking for up-to-date news 24/7 from an African-American perspective?
News that you won't get anywhere else.
Log on now to newsone.com. That's newsone.com.
Southwest Airlines is the only airline to offer low fares without hidden fees. Book now at southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay.